Ever since I got married, I have been subjected to bullying from my mother-in-law. It's not just nagging. She throws things at me and shouts insults loudly. My husband, Irvin, doesn't help at all. He simply turns a blind eye. How do I endure such a situation, you ask? Well, I have a secret strategy up my sleeve. My name is Irma, and I'm 29 years old. It's our second year of marriage with Irvin, and we don't have any children yet. We met at work. Although we were in different departments, we started seeing each other and got married after 2 years. Not only our family and relatives, but also our colleagues and friends celebrated our marriage wholeheartedly. I wish time could have stood still back then. I was so happy thinking that way. But there was no way for me at the time to foresee the hell that awaited me. We got married, and right away we set off on our honeymoon. We spent 2 weeks in the Maldives, making memories and enjoying a luxurious time, and then returned home. The next day, I was relaxing at our new home. Suddenly, I received a phone call from my mother-in-law, the first one since we got married. Hello? Oh, Irma, you are back from your trip, right? Yes, I just got back yesterday. I tried to appear as calm and not show any signs of fatigue. What's up today, mother-in-law? What's up? You think there's nothing? You should have come over here after your trip. That's why I called. Huh? Did we have plans to visit? Huh? What are you talking about? We didn't discuss anything like that. I was puzzled by my mother-in-law's inconsistent statements, but I responded. Mother-in-law, I don't recall making plans to visit. Well, yes. But you contacted us because we didn't show up there, right? That's what I said. Don't make me repeat the same thing over and over. Huh? What is she talking about? She contacted us without any prior agreement, scolded us for not showing up, and now she's getting defensive. I don't understand what she means. Mom, please wait a moment. I did buy souvenirs, but they are perishable. And I plan to go to your house with Irvin on our next day off. After coming back from your honeymoon, it's common sense to show up quickly with souvenirs. Just understand that and come over, you useless daughter-in-law. The call ended abruptly, and it took quite some time for me to comprehend the stormy situation. Our common sense is so different, and my mind is in a complete panic. Thinking that things won't be resolved if it continues like this, I forcefully woke up my husband, who was sleeping in bed. Hey, Irvin, are you awake? I need to talk to you. I gently shook his shoulder, and my husband opened his slightly dorsey eyes. Irma? What is it? I'm still tired. I just got a call from your mother. Huh? From Mom? My husband sat up and asked in surprise. She said, why can't you show up after coming back from your honeymoon? It's common sense to come over with souvenirs. That's what she told me. I see. Well, forget about it. I'm tired today. And we were planning to go there next week anyway. So it should be fine. My husband lay back down on the bed again. I decided to make sure one last time. Your mother seemed really angry, so make sure to contact her as well, okay? Yeah. My husband gave a half-hearted response without making eye contact. I was a little worried, but I believed that my husband would contact his mother. I trusted that and didn't push further. 1 week later, As planned, we headed to my in-laws' house with souvenirs from our honeymoon. As soon as we arrived, my mother-in-law glared at me and said, "So, even an uncultured daughter-in-law like you came." At first, I thought I misheard and ignored it, but my mother-in-law's verbal abuse kept getting worse. "Mom, here. Honeymoon souvenirs?" My husband handed the souvenirs to her, and my mother-in-law let out a delighted voice. "Thank you, Erwin. Did you choose these just for me?" "Of course. Sorry for coming late. Both Irma and I were tired." "That's no problem. Well, Irma doesn't seem tired at all, though." After sighing, my mother-in-law made an even more unbelievable remark. "Hey, Erwin, wasn't marrying Irma a mistake after all?" "Huh?" I couldn't help but let out a surprised voice at my mother-in-law's outrageous words. "Erwin, think about it. Irma wasn't tired, but she didn't show up here. Isn't that rude?" "No, it's not like I wasn't tired." "Stay silent." As I tried to interject, my mother-in-law glared at me. "You know what? I was against this marriage from the beginning. Just look at her face, so plain and unattractive. And her figure too, right? But I never imagined she'd turn out to be this lacking in common sense." "What? What's with that sudden attitude?" "I don't want to hear things like looks and body aside, lacking skills and common sense." Anger towards my mother-in-law welled up from the depth of my heart. But since we had just gotten married, I couldn't utter abusive words to my mother-in-law. "Hey, Irvin, you think so too, right?" After showing signs of hesitation, my husband spoke these words. "Well, she can at least manage the basic household chores. I think she has some value as a wife for now." "Value as a wife? She can at least manage the basic household chores? What? Who does he think he is? Is it okay to talk like that?" "Wait, Erwin, what are you saying?" While feeling puzzled by my husband's statement, I responded, "We got married because we wanted to, right? I thought you said you would be happy to marry someone like Irma. That's how you proposed, right?" "Yeah, I think I'm happy. If we have children, it will be an heir for my mom, and Irma listens to everything I say. In the future, we can even live with my mom." "Wait a minute. What's that supposed to mean? Did we get married just for living with your mom and having an heir?" "No, I do love you, Irma. But as for living with my mom, I thought only Irma could make it possible." What is this person saying? I thought he married me because he loved me. To talk about heirs and living together so explicitly? My mother-in-law watches our exchange with a smirk on her face. Does she think she's faultless in her statements? My husband seems satisfied too, with a smile on his face. From then on, my mother-in-law periodically summoned us as a couple and calmly harassed me. "Irma, prepare the meal quickly." "Yes, I'm coming." What's this mashed potato? Is it a spiteful act? The taste is too bland. My mother-in-law threw the plate at me, and I ended up with mashed potatoes all over me. Ouch! You're so clumsy. Can't cook, can't have children. What a useless daughter-in-law. Why is this happening? Just be quiet and clean it up. With mashed potatoes all over my head, I wiped the floor with tears in my eyes. Even in times like this, my husband ignores the situation. Not only that, he starts lecturing me as if I were at fault. "Irma, Can't you be more efficient? Just because we don't have children, it makes my mother sad. If you can't even cook properly, then I have no standing, right? I'm sorry, but I thought the cooking was fine because you always said it was delicious, Erwin. That's obviously just flattery, isn't it? For me, my mother's cooking is the standard. If you can't cook even properly, at least make an effort to have children. You keep refusing every night, saying you are tired. I'm sorry. During that time, I was overwhelmed with work. On top of that, I was frequently summoned to my in-laws' house on weekends. I was completely exhausted, both mentally and physically. I kept rejecting my husband every night, saying, I'm tired, sorry. It became unbearable for me that he wouldn't protect me from my mother-in-law, so I desperately refused. And then, one day, my husband and I were once again called to my in-laws' house. As expected, my mother-in-law reproached me about the children issue. Listen, Irma, I heard from Irvin. You're refusing to have children. Is that true? Well, it's not like that. I'm not refusing or anything. Don't talk back. You can't even handle the household chores, and now you can't even produce an heir. Your deficiencies are so overwhelming. It's beyond exasperating. I'm sorry. My mother-in-law glanced down at me as if looking down on me. Then she seemed to come up with something. All right, get pregnant within the next 6 months. If you can't, then I'll have you divorce my son. Within 6 months? Get pregnant? Irving was also enthusiastic about my mother-in-law's proposal, saying, That sounds interesting. The deadline is 6 months, understood? If you can't produce an heir, I have no use for you, you useless thing. At that moment, I felt an overwhelming desire to abandon all the efforts I had made. Am I just a machine for bearing an heir? Am I just a future caregiver? In the end, was I not truly needed for myself? I won't endure it anymore. Just 6 more months. Within that time, I will definitely get my revenge on these people. I will absolutely turn the tables. And so, my revenge plot began. Since then, I silently accepted all the mistreatment from my mother-in-law. Irma, could you clean the house today, please? Understood. And also, prepare dinner. Do you know the procedure? Seasoning should be strong, pasta should be firm, and the meat should be well cooked, right? That's right. You can do it if you try. Well then, I'm counting on you, okay? Leave it to me. Because I had endured so much mistreatment, I understood exactly what my mother-in-law wanted to say. Desperate to play the role of a devoted daughter-in-law, I acted with all my might. After half a year of obeying my mother-in-law's orders, this day arrived at my in-law's house where a gathering of relatives was taking place. By this time, my mother-in-law had completely treated me like a servant. She no longer yelled at me as I moved according to her commands. Irma, what about the coffee and the snacks for everyone? They are already prepared. We'll also serve a meal today. Have you done the preparations? All taken care of. Seeing me like that, the relatives praised one after another, saying, She's a good wife. She's so capable. It seemed to have bothered my mother-in-law as her mood quickly soured. Irma, did you buy the alcohol I asked for? Alcohol? I wasn't asked to buy any. Huh? What are you talking about? I told you to buy some delicious wine to serve everyone. I'm sorry, but I really wasn't told to do that. Don't make excuses. Just go and buy it already. You're really useless and it's so frustrating. She berated me loudly, making sure everyone could hear, acting as if she had said it when she hadn't. It was her usual pattern. In the midst of the frozen atmosphere, I removed my apron and headed to the kitchen to go buy the wine. That's when my uncle came rushing over. Elmer, don't let it bother you, okay? Thank you, Uncle. Still, you can endure so much. Those insults, they are just too much. You can endure so much. I had been waiting for those words. I proclaimed loudly, as if releasing the grudges I had been holding on to. No, really, I'm fine. After all, I'm getting divorced today. All the relatives turned and looked at me in surprise. Even my uncle exclaimed in a bewildered voice. Divorce? Yes, that's right. The truth is, my mother-in-law told me that if I didn't get pregnant within 6 months, I should get a divorce. Today is the deadline. Is that so? Yes. I'm bidding farewell to this terrible family today. So I'm perfectly fine with it. My husband and my mother-in-law had twisted expressions and turned pale. Ignoring the two of them, I spoke again. Well, if I'm told that I'm not needed because I can't bear a successor, then there's nothing I can do about it. It's a shame that I won't be able to see all of you anymore, but it's their decision. I picked up the prepared luggage and said, Well then, leaving the room behind. Wait a minute! My mother-in-law called out from behind. What is it? I'll extend the deadline for you. Another 6 months. No, 1 year. So just continue being Irvin's wife as before. Well, that would be the case, right? I had acted like a good wife for the past 6 months just to be detained like this. But I won't let them have their way anymore. I've endured it all for this day. No, thank you. Looking straight at my mother-in-law, I continued. I've been a good wife for the past 6 months, haven't I? Thanks to that, you've become much kinder. But you know, the things you said and did will never disappear. I absolutely refuse to continue being part of your family. You, who do you think you are, saying such things as a daughter-in-law? Do you think divorce will be forgiven? That's right, Elmer. Do you even understand what you are saying? My husband also chimed in, joining my mother-in-law. As if to show them, I slowly took out my smartphone. I have recorded all of your past abusive words on my phone. It would be in your best interest not to say anything that could further incriminate yourselves, right? Upon hearing those words, my husband and mother-in-law both slumped down in their seats. Leaving my in-law's house behind, I headed straight to the lawyer's office. Armed with a recording of the verbal abuse from my husband and mother-in-law, I filed for divorce. Thanks to the skillful lawyer, the divorce went relatively smoothly. The incidents of harassment from my husband and mother-in-law were exposed to everyone. Since that day, it seems that our relatives have all declared a complete estrangement. To make matters worse, my husband works at the same company as me. The divorce scandal spread like wildfire. I heard Irving was mistreating his wife along with his mother. Ooh, how disgusting! He used to boast about his close relationship with his wife in front of everyone. He's the worst, bullying his wife with his mother. What a mama's boy! And so on. I hear whispers behind my back every day as I go to work. Given his prideful nature, it's only a matter of time before he quits his job. On the other hand, I've started living alone and enjoying a carefree life. I'm no longer a baby-making machine or a caregiver. It's just me, enjoying my own freedom. No one will interfere with my life anymore. Absolutely not. If I have the opportunity to be with someone again, I want to be with someone who will treat me properly and cherish me.